You giving the Celtics a chance against the Warriors?
Absolutely not. But first, before we get into all that, shout out to the Celtics for getting to this point. Shout out to the Celtics for giving us the matchup that we deserve.
Yes.
We're about to see phenomenal guard play. Smart, Poole, Clay, Brown, Tatum, Steph. I cannot wait.
Yes.
Kudos to the Celtics for representing the East. But there's no chance. There's just no chance that, that the Celtics win this matchup. Now, I have liked the Celtics. I hated the fact that they knocked out my dog Giannis Antetokounmpo. However, I do, in fact, like the Celtics. We just have to be real about this matchup. The Celtics are the knockoff version of the Warriors.
Let's go.
The Celtics are Sierra Mist to Sprite. The Celtics are Mr. Pibb to Dr. Pepper. The Celtics are the snack-size version of the king-size Warriors. Anything that the Celtics can do, the Warriors can do better. The Celtics have a player in Jayson Tatum trying to become an all-time great. The Warriors have Steph Curry, an all-time great. The Celtics have a head coach, Ime Udoka, rookie head coach in the NBA championship game. The Warriors have a head coach in Steve Kerr, who won the NBA championship his first year as a coach. The Celtics have a defensive forward who can do some things in Al Horford. The Warriors have Draymond Green, a defensive player of the year. Anything that the Celtics do, the Warriors do better. The Celtics are Steve Madden, if you will. The Warriors are Chanel.
I'm about to say, who wearing that? Okay.
So I love the Celtics. The only problem is they're a knockoff version of the Warriors.
Okay.
The Warriors have already done everything the Celtics are trying to do. That is why I'm not giving them a chance. Celtics have played some good ball thus far. They didn't play good ball last series. Let's not get it twisted. But they've played good ball thus far. Knocking off the Bucks, that was some good ball. But when you're talking about the Warriors, Sal, you're talking about a team that has been here before, a team that is uber talented, a team that has a phenomenal head coach and a phenomenal coaching staff, and a team that is just as hungry, if not hungrier. I love me some Celtics, but I love the Warriors more.
So can I sum up what you just said right now, which is basically they have a chance, and that chance is no chance. Okay, that's the only chance they have. Interesting. I'm on the other side, big dog. First of all, you know, on any given Sunday, or in this situation, any given Thursday, you got a shot. Now, why do they have more than just a shot? This is the best defensive team that the Warriors going to face this postseason. This is also a deeper, more balanced offensive team than the Warriors going to face this season. The road for the Warriors to get here has not been easy, but let's just say it wasn't as hard as advertised. When you go into a series and all you see is Jokic, you don't see Murray, you don't see Porter Jr. You go into a series, you see Ja Morant, and then it turns into just Jay. No Ja. Where is he? He misses part of that series to most of that series. All of a sudden, the Golden State Warriors are resting, and they may rest on their laurels in this same respect. They're not as conditioned. They haven't been through the rigors. They haven't been as battle-tested as these Boston Celtics, who swept the Brooklyn Nets, who then see the champions and beat them, and then go another 7-game series against the #1 seed. You talking about lathered up? You talking about ready for the moment? The Boston Celtics have arrived. Now, going against the Golden State Warriors, obviously the first thing you got to tell yourself is you're not facing the dynasty of the Golden State Warriors. You're not facing Steph Curry of old. You're facing this version of Steph Curry. And this version of Steph Curry is now coming with someone else who's not the same Batman or Robin, as you want to call it. Jordan Poole is now replacing Kevin Durant. Jordan Poole is not Kevin Durant. Jordan Poole is going to be put in a situation he's never been in before. Jayson Tatum's going to be in that same position. Jaylen Brown's going to be in that same position. Here's the thing. When you look at what Jordan Poole's going to be asked to do, it's going to be different than what the Boston Celtics are going to ask him to do. Because the first thing they're going to look at their star players to say is go out there with effort, intensity, and play defense. Let the game come to you. With Jordan Poole, it's not that, because one, he doesn't play defense. Two, they're going to say we need buckets. That's a different stress when you talk about the Golden State Warriors counting on their rookie in the postseason championship game versus Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. All this is going to add up into an intensity matchup that the Golden State Warriors, just frankly, haven't faced this postseason just yet. Part of that's because they've been balling. Part of that's because the road's been easy. Part of that now, they're rested, going to come into a situation where another team who's been to 2 7-game series is ready for the haymaker.
I like your take, Sal, but you have to remember, just as the Celtics are a knockoff version of the Warriors, the Celtics have faced knockoff versions of their opponents each and every game thus far. The Brooklyn Nets were a knockoff version of themselves. Nets started the season with James Harden with the big three. Traded James Harden to get Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons does not show up in the playoffs. So the Celtics faced a knockoff version of the Nets in round one.
Okay.
Round two, the Celtics faced a knockoff version of the Bucks. The Bucks have a two-headed monster in Chris Middleton. But Chris Middleton didn't play the entirety of the series, and the Celtics still almost got knocked off while playing a knockoff version of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
The Celtics face a knockoff version of the Heat and still almost get knocked off while facing a knockoff version of the Heat. Heat didn't have Tyler Hero for 3.5 games. Heat didn't have Kyle Lowry for 2 games. And Heat had a hobble Jimmy Butler for the last 3 games. So the Celtics, which are a knockoff version of the Warriors, have almost gotten knocked off while facing knockoff versions of their opponents in the Nets, in the Bucks, and in the Heat. I just don't have a ton of confidence in the Celtics this year. Got a ton of confidence in the Celtics going forward. But of all the teams and all the players I believe in the history of the game of basketball, you know I believe in no one more than Steph Curry. You know that. I talk about that every show. We don't talk about it.
I do. I
believe in no one more than Steph Curry.
I don't know why.
I just refuse to believe that a Celtics team, which was taken to Game 7 by a knockoff version of the Bucks and taken to Game 7 by a knockoff version of the Heat, are going to come in and knock off the Warriors. I just don't see, Sal, how the understudy this time around is going to surpass the teacher, how the student is going to overcome. I don't see how it happens.
Oh, man, life's a competition between you and yourself.
Correct.
You keep talking about who the Warriors are going to face and how they're knockoffs. The Warriors are a knockoff version of the Warriors, if you really want to get there. Is this the dynastic Warriors of old?
I think so.
You think so? Oh, you didn't say that with your chest, though. I wonder why.
Because I have no evidence.
Exactly.
I have no evidence.
So therefore, they're not. And right now, here's the evidence that they're not what they were with Kevin Durant. Here's the evidence that they're not the clear favorite. They're a slight favorite over a team that just went to 2 7-game series against knockoffs, according to you. You know why? Because this is not the Warriors of old. So therefore, if you're the Celtics, don't think that they're the Warriors of old. That's why I made the Jordan Poole conversation and comment. Now, you face these Warriors. How can you beat these Warriors?
You can't.
Really? Okay, the same Warriors who went against the Nuggets. Now, they handle business. They ain't play with their food. 4-1, 4-2, 4-1. Stop playing these games. But the Nuggets had 1 of 3 knockoffs. The Grizzlies had 1.7 of what their ones are supposed to be, right? And the Mavericks only had 1. They came in as advertised. No knockoffs here, just cheap. All right, they don't have enough. So the Warriors' road has been easier.
Then what?
Than what the Celtics have faced.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You trying to tell me if
the Bucks without Middleton.
No, let's go. Let's start series of series.
Yes, sir.
The Nets versus one-player Nuggets. Who wins that?
I think they're equal.
We can't talk. Okay, Kyrie and KD versus Jokic.
They're not a good team. They have good talent. They're not a good team.
In that series.
Take the Nets one. Fine.
Okay. Grizzlies without Ja Morant versus.
Ja played.
He missed the last 2 games. So you're going to go here and
Middleton didn't play any game, sir. Not one.
Oh, yeah.
Not one.
Yeah. But you still got the champions versus the Grizzlies. Come on, man. So even if you want to hate my argument, you got to understand it. That was a different road. Neither road was as difficult as advertised.
Sure.
But that's still a different road. The Mavericks or the Heat?
The Heat had nobody.
They ended up with nobody. They started off with everybody, and then they just got there, the war of attrition. And that's the point. But going through that war of attrition, they survived it. And they're knuckled up. They're scarred up. They're lathered up versus the Warriors is like, all right, we good. We good against who, though? You're good against not complete teams. So it's just going to be interesting. I think Vegas got this right. To me, the slight edge is to the Warriors because who can remove from their head the dynasty, the core of players that have been through championship success. But at the same time, you got to respect what these Celtics have been through. Well coached, great defense, deep, balanced, and they've been through the wars. they might finish it.
I'm gonna get here's my thing. I hate because I'm such a Warriors fan. It's gonna sound like I'm spewing a ton of Celtics hate until it's over. I'm telling y'all right now, because I love me some Warriors.
Yeah.
The Celtics did get here. Respect to them for getting here. I cannot at all take that away from them. Celtics, I think, are the best team. We're the best team in the Eastern Conference. I'm not just talking about final results. I've always said top to bottom. At the point in which you got Grant Williams coming in, giving you 27 points in a must-win game. Yeah. Pritchard, who only played 2 minutes yesterday, can come in and give you 8 points in 8 minutes and a quarter. At the point in which from start of the depth chart to bottom of the depth chart, you got dudes who can give you buckets. Respect to the Celtics. I'm just looking at the Warriors and saying, all that stuff the Celtics can do, the Warriors can do that and some. So
really,
Poole comes off the bench and gives you 30.
Yeah.
Poole comes off like it's nothing, comes off the bench and gives you 30.
Right.
Andrew Wiggins is back in his all-star bag.
Yeah.
Draymond Green, he only gonna give you 9, 8, and 8, but it's still going to be a collective defensive effort. Klay Thompson, forget game 6, Klay. It was game 5, Klay, last time around. And I haven't even mentioned Steph Curry yet, Sal. If you can almost let Jimmy Butler beat you single-handedly, Giannis beat you single-handedly, this is not a knockoff Warriors version. This is a third iteration of the Warriors, but I don't think this is a knockoff. Warriors are coming full throttle, big dog. Thus far, the Celtics have needed the opponents to be injured to get dubs. It's not the Celtics' fault. They didn't necessarily injure the opponents, but the Celtics needed Middleton hurt to get a dub. They needed Hero hurt to get a dub, and to some degree, Kyle Lowry. And thank goodness Ben Simmons didn't play, but even if Ben Simmons did play, I do believe the Celtics would have won that series. No shade to the Celtics. The Warriors coming in full throttle, foot to the gas. There's just not a chance. I want there to be.
There's not a chance? Look at these versions. Steph Curry is a lesser version of the dynastic Steph Curry. You got to say that. You see it in the production, and you see it in maybe just the fact that he is letting others share.
But he always did.
Yeah,
he always did.
But he always
let against him.
He always let you say he let KD. KD took it, but allowed KD to be KD, right? But even when Steph Curry was Steph Curry, he was more than this. So here's the thing. Now you got Klay Thompson he's right at 20 points a game in the postseason. He's just notched down.
Yes,
Steph Curry notched down or the same, but not a notch up.
Steph's the same.
Okay, the same.
Yes,
I'll give you that. You got Klay a notch down. Then you add Poole and Wiggins, but Poole and Wiggins is not KD and what? Old Iggy? Where you going? That's the difference. So this is the mental math you got to play because you got to figure out a way. You know you got a chance because you're playing them. How do you have a greater chance is that you don't play yourself in thought. If you play against the Golden State Warriors, you see the jerseys first. You see the colors first. You see the rafters first. Then you got to start looking at the players and you think that they're the exact same. That's not how it goes. So let's say Steph is the same. Klay ain't, but you're going to look at Klay like old Klay or new Klay. I like the old Klay. Poole hasn't been here before, and Poole is still a lesser version, and Wiggins is a lesser version, or at least a less reliable version than Kevin Durant and Andre Iguodala or whoever you want to name as the other guys. Draymond's the same, if not a step down from before.
Yep,
so that's my point. Right now, the question is, do they have a chance? Yes. Do they have a greater chance is my argument, and I say hell yes.
Think about this. If you were not a professional athlete, I would let you slide with that take. But because you were at the highest level for a long time, I can't. Let me have you verbalize it. When you first came into the league, you told me 35 reps at 225 on bench press. For context, I only did 25 minus 1, I did 24. 38-inch vert.
39 and a half.
39 and a half.
I stopped counting. No, I got up there. Yeah,
the context, I only did a 35. You came into the league and were a physical athlete, freak.
Yeah.
But at around 27, 28, I would assume the athleticism started to wane a little bit, but the mental capacity started to improve a little bit. So though Marcellus Wiley was deteriorating athletically, he was increasing mentally.
Let's go.
So you couldn't really tell the difference. What I would say about the Warriors is the same thing that every athlete goes through and Marcellus Wiley went through.
Yeah.
Though the Warriors physically are not the same as they were in 2015. We know Draymond isn't. Klay obviously is hurt. He's not. Steph Curry, to me, really no difference. But Draymond, Klay, they're not the same physically. I think mentally, from a team perspective, the Warriors have increased to the point where you cannot notice their physical decay. Why do I bring that up? I believe it was game 1 versus the Grizzlies, round 2, Warriors, Grizzlies. Ja Morant, ball in his hands. Go for a 2-for-1, big dog. You got about 30 seconds left. Put up a shot with 30 seconds left, you can get the ball back. You're only down by 1. But Ja Morant mentally did not realize what to do in that moment.
Yeah.
Warriors capitalize. Warriors win by 1 point, if I'm not mistaken, game 1. I'm going off the top of my head. So with all that being said, what the Warriors have lacked in their physical ability, they are making up for with the team aspect and the team attributes of everything. I don't think that we're going to notice the fact that Clay is older, Dre is older, because the Warriors are a collectively better team than they were in 2014, in 2015, and 2016. Is Poole Kevin Durant? Absolutely not. But Poole don't need to be Kevin Durant. Poole just need a boy Poole.
Yeah.
Give him 30 points.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
what KD was doing.
I love it.
Andrew Wiggins. He can play better defense than KD was playing. And remember, this is where
Now
KD
we stop. You know them boys flew to the Hamptons because they were like, you 7 feet too. And that defense showed up when the Golden State Warriors.
KD blocked 4 shots, and all of a sudden he became Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, I'm just
like,
letting you
let's
know.
stop.
To let you know.
KD was not Bruce Bowen in his prime, people. Calm down.
They were having defensive decisions to make, and one of them was to get a 7-footer who could also bring the ball up.
All I'm saying is they don't need Kevin Durant. They just need Poole to be Poole, Wiggins to be Wiggins, and they going to win 4-1.
Well, God dang. Let me not do TV up here. They don't need Kevin Durant. Obviously, they're here again.
Yes, sir.
But it would have been nice to have Kevin Durant. They did not even have a conversation of who's going to beat them until Kevin Durant got hurt. Remember that. That when Kevin Durant showed up in Golden State, we're not losing until that guy or one of us, Steph Curry or him, is gone. And then Kevin Durant was first. And then they lost. That was it. It was just that simple. This is not that simple. The macro conversation is about the physical talent. That's why it matters if Steph is not the same. It matters if Clay's not the same. You know how it goes in the game. If I'm just going to out-physical you with my talent, it ain't even going to get down to this experience, micro-decision conversation of savvy. We're not going there because you can't even keep up with me. It's when physically I'm in the same world as you, the same realm, and then mentally I can execute on you in this moment. So as we do in our situations in football, what do we call it? Situational football. It's the same thing in basketball. If you're getting ran up and down the floor, who cares about your experience? And that's the thing. Boston defensively can hold Golden State in check. Look at this. This is crazy. Who do you think is a better three-point shooter this postseason? Tatum or Steph Curry?
You're asking me, so Tatum.
Wrong. It's Steph Curry. You don't even trust your own opinions. It's Steph Curry by 0.5%. Now, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown got him. Horford. Horford got him. Steph Curry wasn't in this conversation before talking about who's going to outshoot me from 3. Now he's in that conversation now. Here's the thing. The Golden State Warriors know if they come out and play physical, Marcus Smart ball, they come out with intensity, and they come out with that deep team that can play defense, this is going to be a task. Now, if they come out there and we have the inconsistent Jayson Tatum, you already know, we have Jaylen Brown, who's good, great, but not the top tier. Then we're going to have a conversation of Golden State trying to go 4-2, 4-1. But the same Golden State Warriors who were down 55, the same Golden State Warriors that lost to Ja Morant and the Grizzlies by 39, the same Golden State Warriors that were split after that game when Ja Morant was really playing, I don't know, big dog. I think they got a chance. Actually, the way I sound, they got a good chance.